impressive, you know, tying things up with herO here. Did not see this coming.
I had a hunch. I thought it might happen, Wolf.
You have a lot more faith in him than I do.
Yeah, I know. Even though like herO dominated Bjell, like Dark is a different kind of Zerg. He's got his own different mindset to the game. I think that's what the Zerg needs to do to beat his style. If he kind of has the Zerg figured out, he's got too many tools in his pocket to just mix it up a little too much.
Yep. All right. Players are in the lobby now. The winner of this will take the lead and will be one win away from taking that KeSPA Cup home. They actually do get to keep it. They get to keep it. Brendan and I were talking about this the other day. Not sure if like you got your name on it or something like that, but you actually do keep it. It's yours. You take it home. It's your trophy.
Very important. I wouldn't want to win a trophy that I didn't get to keep.
Yeah.
That'd be horrible.
That would be horrible. All right, looks like we're going to go ahead and start, guys. The map is up and loaded. We'll see you in the game.
SK텔레콤 T1다 박영우 vs CJ&2's herO 김준호.
Not even going to do the countdown this time. We just want to get right back into it.
Yeah. Over here, bottom left in purple. It's Dark. Tying things up. Very impressive.
Top left, herO lost the last couple of games. Going for that early expansion with the Forge by the looks of it.
Yeah.
And it's vertical spawns this time around. These are pretty awkward positions in general for both races.
Yeah, because if you, so like, let's talk about this. Because if you're Zerg, you want to take a third base. You got to take it towards the Protoss in like a weird angle,
or in the middle,
really far away in the middle.
Yeah,
like so far away. There's
no good place to really expand to. He probably will take the one that's forward, like towards herO, but he's not going to like it at all. It's the last thing Zerg wants to do is expand towards a Protoss like that.
And for the Protoss, your third base is really far away and towards the Zerg, which is why I think we'll probably see another island expand if herO's to take a third, just like we saw Myungshik do yesterday.
I think that might just be a Myungshik thing, though. Do you really think herO will expand that much?
herO doesn't seem to be the type to do that. But no. I'm saying if he takes a third, I think it's going to be in an island. Otherwise, he's just not going to be taking a third this game.
I agree, and I think he's going to try and avoid that third as much as possible. Just try and end this on 2 base.
And that could give Dark, you know, if he's thinking the same, you know, along the same lines as us, could give some flexibility here. He's even going to go for a fast gas now, which we haven't really seen him do too much of.
Yeah, he's going to get link speed out nice and quick. But it's going to be up against a Forge expand, so the wall will be blocked off with the cannon. Not going to find much luck there. You could very well go for the Ling Roach again, though. You know, that's the same build order. Going to get link speed out very quickly, but if he keeps mining gas, it's going to give away that he wants to go for that Roach timing as well.
Yep. Gate going to come up next. And neither player, of course, knows at this point in time where their opponent spawns. Dark checking with his Overlord the incorrect location, and the Probe doing the same, because horizontal spawns are the most important to know. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. The way you have to play this map so differently in horizontal spawns, so you can see that checked almost every time. It's also slightly faster, I think, to check horizontal, so when you do that, if it is there, you're going to find out just a little bit faster, so it's kind of a nice little extra scouting information boost. You get the information a little bit faster if that's where they are. That's why you would never cross scout first. That would just be inefficient.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing about scouting horizontally is that it's like such a game changer. It's like actually like, to be fair, like completely imbalanced, and it's like, well, I have to do something kind of drastic in this situation because it's a horrible place to be. And you might even just go for that all-in that you didn't really want to go for, but you kind of have to.
Yeah. And Moonglade, speaking of all-ins, 17 drones only. He's been making nothing but lings, and this Probe barely sees some of them.
Oh,
He hides the rest of them. He only saw one link, so this isn't necessarily enough for him to know.
No Zealot on the way just yet. It is going to be now. No Chrono Boost on it, though, so he's not panicked.
And this is speed. I mean, that's going to be coming up behind this. This is not slow links like we've seen before.
It's only 14. It's not completely all-in. He's making drones behind this, too. But look at this. It's completely left open at this point.
Well,
he can just run on up.
It's not going to be out in time. And if he gets in here, he could deny the Zealot.
Oh,
he didn't even know.
Oh, Dark. Oh, a huge blunder there.
This is great for herO at least, though. He's like so lucky.
He's going to try go up now. It's like, oh, there's a Zealot there now. I guess I just wasted that opportunity.
Yeah, I wonder if he just simply wasn't looking. I don't know.
Doesn't seem so, right?
I'm going to take the gold from here because he's got a bit of pressure on herO. He's actually going to try to break this. I don't know about this. He's just going to wall it.
Yeah, forced out a couple of pylons.
Is that worth it? How many kills did that cannon get? Like, how many units just died there? 5 kills plus the Zealot probably got like 4.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well, it's 14 down to 7, so yeah, he got a lot of kills. And he's going to take the 3rd on the gold.
He's taking a ton of drones right now. He's droning up to go saturate that gold base.
I like that.
Boost.
Yeah, I like that he's taking the gold base. It is kind of vulnerable from that high ground though, so if Stalkers get up there, Stalker Sentry, there's no way you're going to mine from it.
Yeah.
That's the only problem with this kind of position on the 3rd base. And probably we'll see that from herO at some point. It's going to be starting off with an Oracle there.
Yeah, the Oracle can do some harassment work over there. Getting a queen to that base is just not going to happen. He's going to have to just make them out of that base and then get his spores up. Follow up with the Phoenix. Pretty unique. Like, we don't see this all too often right now. So this kind of leads me to believe with that Warp Prism Comp, we are going to see the island.
Yeah, possibly. He's going to start wiping out these Overlords though. Adding a few more gateways. I think it might just be an all-in from here.
Drone's in trouble.
Oh.
Could be an all-in, actually, yeah.
Yeah, with 3 gateways.
Starts to look that way.
You know, that Phoenix is going to just wipe out everything as well. It's going to wipe out all the Overlords on the map. There's going to be no more scouting for herO. Sorry, for Dark. He's going to have no idea what's going on in that 2 base.
Yeah.
We're also seeing that Warp Prism come out. Warp Prism could be used for that 3rd.
Yeah. Another Viper pull there. I couldn't quite read it because it was super fast, but that's how Vipers do. That's how they do. Yeah, with the second Stargate.
Second Stargate, okay.
It's starting to feel more like the island.
Yeah, you're right.
But
it absolutely is.
I mean, he's doing this like a bit slow, like compared to how Myungshik did it. He's not doing it quite the same way. It's not the same type of build.
Yeah, it's a very different kind of build. But I guess in the same way, like you're not really under threat to lose this 3rd base because it's on the island. It's pretty much going to be completely safe whenever you decide to get it because the Zerg isn't going to really be going straight into mutas or anything soon like that. No drops.
Yeah, well, the cool thing for this for pros too is when you take your 4th, by that time you should have an army large enough to where you're not worried about how far away it is. Whereas at this point in the game, if you try to take either the gold base or that 3rd base below the main, you're just asking to die to roach speedling or even just pure speedling, depending on the part of the game we're in. Oh, almost gets that soon, but not quite.
Might want to shift that Spore Crawler out the goal just slightly to the left.
Yeah, I was actually about to say the same thing. It's like a bit out of position.
Things are on the map. Looks like they want map control, but what are they going to do against an island expand that he has no idea about still?
He's got to start getting an idea, though. Seeing some Stargate units on the map, seeing no 3rd base. Now, how we saw Biel, I believe it was, who fought against this, right? Yeah, Biel versus Myungshik. Biel tried to use Nidus as the answer.
Yeah, that's right.
He was likely to lose that game, but Myungshik totally fumbled his engagement and got fungled on all of his Void Rays, and it was just in the anticlimactic.
Yeah, his Templar the biggest thing was the Templar getting fungled like that. He had all the tools he ever needed to win that game, and he got fungled on everything. But it is such a hard army to deal with, you know, mass Void Rays, especially, you know, we're seeing 3 Stargate Void Rays this time around, so it's going to be much scarier, much bigger than we saw from Myungshik. And if he adds Templars with it, it just gets so hard to deal with.
We're seeing Overlord drops too, which I think is really tough to actually pull off, but can work out. We saw last game on this map, Myungshik actually took both islands and ended up actually losing both of them eventually because the Overlord drops were able to circumvent his Void Rays because he was like using them super heavily to harass. He had to recall his Void Rays back, and then the Overlords came in. You have opportunities where something like this happens. You can make the Overlord drops work, although, you know, when you look at it from the outside looking in, it looks like, oh, that's never going to work against this air army. There are moments, there are opportunities you can seize, which we saw yesterday.
Yeah, well, the one thing about this air army is it's very slow. It's always, it can be caught out of position very easily and can be kind of circumvented. If if he knows where they are.
Yeah.
Mothership Core makes it just a little bit more versatile. We are going to see these Void Rays go down, maybe go for that 4th base.
Yeah, is Mothership Core coming to join them as well? A bit behind, but yeah, it's coming.
This Warp Prism here, he could warp in a ton of Zealots and go for a Void Ray Zealot in the main base, maybe even try and sack the main.
It could happen, or he could actually attack this 3rd base. Just going to drop them in and then possibly do another warp in. Poising around these extractors. Kill some drones. Ooh, actually doesn't get a single one, surprisingly.
Still a way away from charge as well.
Yeah, charge would make this kind of attack a lot more effective.
Oh, it would crush these Hydras. Gonna run into a ton of Hydras in the main base.
They actually fight these, though.
They can. Targeting them down even.
I think this is actually a fair trade. Well, he didn't bring the Zealots, though. I thought he was actually going to do that.
Yeah, they're still getting warped in from this warp gate. Maybe he's actually waiting for charge before he tries for the 4th.
Yeah, he might just attack it by ground, even. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to see here.
You could actually Void Ray the hatchery while these Zealots tie out the Hydra. Wipe them out. These
Oh, no, these
completely
Hydra's way out of position. All these Zealots have +1. They're soon to have +2, in fact.
Yeah, they're all getting wiped out here. Very nice. And the main base now completely exposed.
Huge Ling drop, meanwhile, to the north. He's going to get this lair, and he's going to want to recall. There he goes. Lings everywhere, though, in the north, as I was saying.
Oh, wow. It doesn't actually recall to that expansion
Yeah, he didn't
either.
see it. He didn't see it in time.
No. Zealot's getting warped in. They should clean it up. They are +1 against the unupgraded Zerglings. Well,
9 probes. These trades end up being okay for Dark, killing some of those expensive Void Rays. And,
we are seeing a counterattack by the looks of things.
yeah, do you think he's just going to hit the natural?
I think he might. There's not really anywhere else to go unless he wants to bring all these Roach Hydra up for the 3rd base. But then he's going to be in a really weird position against these Void Rays.
Yeah, he's not really going to be able to elevator to the, or well, not elevator drop into that base.
Especially no
Oh,
escape.
is he really going to try this? I think this is like the only thing that's not the right choice. Am I wrong? Like,
well, if he gets in, it might be okay.
if he doesn't see it, I guess it's a different story. And he's not. He does not see it. Such a risky move, but it looks like it's going to pay off. Here we go. Roach Hydra into the main. With all these Hydras here, fighting with Void Rays is going to be quite the challenge. Where are those Zealots?
Yeah, he needs those Zealots. He's warping in front of the Roaches, actually. It's not going to be enough Hydra for this. They're not actually attacking the Void Rays either. They're kind of just going for economic damage. I don't know if this is the right choice either. He's going to lose so much supply from this.
He's going to lose a lot. And his bank is, he's got a bank. It's not massive. But these Zealots can actually go and do some work at the gold base. They're headed down, meanwhile. That's where they were.
Completely exposed gold base.
There's nothing here.
Nothing even close.
Just going to attack that base with his +2 Zealots. Drones are even trying to fight. It's actually already so low, he's just going to lose it. I think he's going to start losing a lot of drones if he doesn't run them away. He's going to lose so many drones here. Okay.
That's Void Ray armies. 14 Void Rays currently. They have +1. Now we're even seeing Archons being added in. So Zealot, Archon, Void Ray. That's going to be so hard to deal with only Hydra as the defense.
Well, he needs Vipers. Did he rebuild his lair at least?
He currently has no lair.
Oh boy, that's problematic.
He's in a lot of trouble. His army's kind of dwindled as well with that unsuccessful drop. He's going to try to drop into the 3rd base, but I think he can let it go. He could even recall in if he really wants to. That would definitely save it.
Fighting with probes is definitely not going to. Oh, his mothership is dead, so he can't. That's why he can't recall.
There we go.
Looks like this is going to force an engagement. There are a lot of infestors here, but I don't think there's enough underneath them to actually win a fight.
Doesn't look like it. He might try for it there.
He only has 10 Hydras with this army, so he can't fungal and make infested Terrans enough.
There is only 4 infestors too. If he splits up the Void Rays, he'll be okay.
Saw Myungsha got a bit of trouble, engaging against the infestors yesterday because his High Templar also got caught, but he doesn't need High Templar with this army. So many of these units are out of position and they're stuck on that island right now.
He's going to actually go to the main base. He's going to let the natural go as well. Really banking on one big defense. Can't blame him with this army. And it would be the best choice to simply fungal off the ramp. And here we go. Oh my goodness.
This is not where you wanted to engage. And now these Void Rays going to get chain fungaled for sure. And the Zealots can't come up here. This is the best possible engagement that Dark could have hoped for. Does he have enough anti-air? He's got to Spore Crawler even.
Ooh, still a lot of Void Rays remain. 10 left over.
Another drop coming in here. Void Ray's going to spot it, though. This is the risk of this, you know? Shouldn't even kill those roaches, just leave them on the island. Dead supply.
Yeah, essentially. Cancel this third base again, and we will in just a second as well. Down.
And Dark is actually starting to lose a lot of Overlords. This is something that might actually potentially become a problem.
Well, Dark's economy is essentially gone at this point too. You know, there's no real mining bases left over, just the main, which is essentially half mined out. And
this is looking rough. He's lost all of his units that he needed to really deal with this army, besides a few infestors. But without support, infestors are that's what they are actually, is simply support. You know, they can't fight a war for you. They can lock units in place and do some AoE damage. If you have 10 infestors or 12 infestors, that's a different story. But when you got 4 of them, they're just not able to finish the job.
No. Yeah, you need a lot more with this. You need queens, hydras, roaches to tank the Harkon Zealot.
He is adding a lot more infestors. And this base that herO is getting up right now, he would love to hit that if he could just get over there somehow, but he's just not going to be able to. herO's going to actually now attack this base.
3 infestors with this army, and not that much anti-air behind it. If he spreads his units, he should be okay, but if he leaves them all clumped together...
Why would he clump these like that? He's just going to recall, that's why.
Doesn't lose really anything there.
Yeah, I guess that's one advantage of clumping, is you can recall easily with just one.
That's like the only thing, though. If you lose your mothership core while you're clumped, like you just die.
Yeah.
And Templar finally added to this mix. The one thing that was missing, feedback, Storm, going to be absolutely insane. Only going to be using them for feedback now, though. No Storm upgrades currently.
It's like, I feel like there's a lot of nerfs coming out in this series, man. Everyone is making some mistakes. Like, some of these plays that you'd see normally, like just in a round of 16, around 32 game, like perfect decisions are just not happening. And I like it. This is actually starting to become such a great series.
Very back and forth.
It really, really is. Storm is on the way. If he can get that out, honestly, even if he can get some good feedbacks on these infestors, that would be huge. Like,
that's really, all he needs.
It's tough. Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, it's tough to get over to where they are with all those hydras, though.
Yeah, well, you always try and lead them forward. You try and engage with the rest of your army and get those infestors, but you cannot lead them forward like this to get sniped out.
Yep. Next cannon going down here. Ooh, gets fumbled. Those units can't move. Can't do their job.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem in this.
Chaining the fungals together on these borders. Some infested Terrans coming down. Could Dark actually break this? Doesn't look like quite. There's too many cannons here to help out against the infested Terrans.
Yeah, not enough anti-air either. Nice fungal. A lot of red Void Rays currently, but only queens remain.
Yeah. And you know what? He actually does better than I thought he would. But herO holds, and now I just don't think Dark has any options.
He's got his gold base back up, but it's still pretty.
Look at this warp in
empty
here to chase these infestors.
Yeah. If he gets another base, it should be the nail in the coffin. He looks like he's going to go for the gold.
Oh, the infestor is getting chased down.
Yeah. It's not looking good at all for Dark at this point.
It really isn't.
I think it might be over.
I think so.
We might even see a GG after this base goes down.
A long, hard fight. Some of these warriors at half health, but it just doesn't matter because they have full shields. And unless he fungals everything, I don't think he can take this fight. It doesn't look like he has enough energy. The Archon's doing way too much splash damage. Zealot's not even fighting on the right side, and he can still win this fight. This is like not the best fight he could be taking.
It's the slumpiest fight ever from herO, but it doesn't matter. He's too busy macroing at home. He's going to take down the gold.
And now Dark doesn't even have enough money for a hatchery. He barely does now. But where's he going to make it? I think Dark's actually trying to think about his game plan for Cactus Valley at this point, to be honest.
That might be it, right? Because he's like, well, I guess I'll counterattack with this, but...
3 Hydras is never going to be enough to beat 3 Void Rays plus ground units.
Still a pretty awkward fight. I mean, all the ground units might get wiped out from these bridges.
herO just has mining, and Dark just simply doesn't. That's the bottom line here.
Yeah.
And it's too tough for Dark to, like, throughout this game, he wouldn't have been able to take his own island. It's too risky. If it gets found against that Protoss air, you're just going to lose it. You can't really defend. Unless you, like, had like a defensive Nidus network or something. Just all these things are just too hard for a Zerg to do. Zerg, it's always going to be the race that's the weakest at taking islands. Just how it works.
Getting a nice couple of fungals off on the Zealot Archon. Still, the Void Rays are just too much for these few Hydras.
GG.
Oh, finally.
A scrappy game. That was a bit of a weird one.
And now here is one game away from taking the championship. Looking under the pressure there. That was a big one.
That was a very stressful game. Wow, what a game that ended up being. Just we started things off with early aggression into a third island base, the mass Void Rays into constantly harassing. So many investors in that game, and Fungals going down. High Templar, often without Storm, so we didn't really see Storm actually come into play in that game. It's mostly just Archons there at the end. And Dark just eventually got 2 shutdowns. Economy got hurt too much. It was a really good game by both players, though. Can't really fault either of them in one big way. They definitely didn't take the best engagements here and there. There were a lot of mistakes because of nerves, I'd say.
Well, yeah, just stamina. You know, both players are getting pretty tired at this point in. It's been a big few days for these guys. Now they're going into game 6.
Yep. I think the series could go all the way, man. I think it could go to a game 7.
I think so. Well, it's going to be very hard to dock on this map. Cactus Valley. We've seen this a few times already. Protoss do a lot of damage in that little choke point, leading into those bases.
Dark's going to have to plan something. He's going to have to figure something out here.